Hi everyone, my name is Linda Reed-Enever and I'm excited to delve into you in this Ask Linda episode of a topic and a question that I get asked quite often. And that is, how do I market my business when I have little or no budget? And please don't feel stressed. It's something that when we all start businesses, we have little or no budget. As much as we would love to have a budget of a Fortune 500 company, it's rarely possible and rarely realistic that we actually do. So we need to do things either on shoestring or on the cheap, and we need to know really what's actually important. What are the things that we actually have to do to market our business when our budget is limited? And the first thing that we need to do is we need to look at defining and creating our brand. And if you haven't done this already, if you don't have a name or you're just starting out, the first thing is a name. And the name needs to be something catchy, something easy to understand. And if you can tie it into what you do, if you can make it work to be what you do in your offering or your service providing. So, if you're a web designer, it might be amazing web design services. Or if you're a marketer, it might be, Marketing 101, all those sorts of things. And both of those are most probably taken, so don't run with either of those names. But it's about tying it into what you do. So if you happen to be an agency or a design firm, then you might use the word agency. But it's about tying in that name to what you do. And also tying it into maybe your business name. Because if you're a personal brand and you have a well-established personal brand, then that might actually be what you want to tap into when defining your brand. The next thing we need to do is, once we've come up with that catchy name that's easy to type, don't put in too many fancy names. I mean, if you want too fancy names, you'll be spelling it for a while, but hopefully people will find it. Then we need to define our niche. So we need to look at, who do we want to work with? Who are the people we want to work with? Now, you can go into things like personality, how do they work, how do they talk, but just define now. This is your chance establishing this business to decide the types of people you want to work with. So go and write down a list of people that maybe you didn't like working with in the corporate world, and a list of people that you do like working with. Who do you want to help? How are you going to help those people? And what pain points are they going to have? And also, what budget do they have to employ your services? Because it's all well and good to go and want to help people, but we need to make money in business as well. So we need to make sure that we are targeting our message to a group of people who can afford us, who can pay for our services as well. Otherwise, we're going to spend a bit of time in this business journey giving away our services for free, and no one really wants to do that. So we need to pick your ideal market, and then you need to pitch to that. So you need to be making sure that the copy and the information that you create along the way inside your business journey is going to be relevant to these people, and it's going to connect with them. And then that messaging is going to help you along the way. The next thing we need to do in defining our brand and our niche as we go through this program is working out why customers should buy from us. So what are your points of difference? What makes you unique? Have you invented a new way of doing something? Have you looked at something that's maybe a little bit different or out of the box? How do you change the service and providing? Is it just you? Is it you delivering the service or the product that makes you different? What does make you stand out from your competitors? Why should people buy from you? And have a look at those things about, if someone's cheaper, closer, what do you bring? So if you bring experience, make sure you're including that into your marketing and your brand message and your brand statement going through that area. So once you've defined what your name is going to be, who you're going to work with, why the customers should buy from you, so we can include that into our brand statement and what you're bringing to the table and bringing to market, then we need to turn that brand into a logo. And our friends at Taylor Brands, who I'm creating this video and this content article for at the moment, are a great solution in being able to do that, because they are not only a partner of us here at Business and the Enever Group team, but they also allow you to be able to go through a series of questionnaires, look at what types of fonts that you like, look at types of icon styles, and it's a DIY solution that will help you be able to take those words and start to create a look and a feel for your logo and a brand. And it helps for course creation just as much as it does working inside the business world. Now, as you go through that process, not only can you create a logo with Taylor Brands, but you can see it visualized across things like business cards and all of those sorts of spaces. So if you haven't checked out Taylor Brands, there's a link with a video and with this article. So make sure that you do check that one out, and go and have a bit of a play and work out with some ideas. And if it's not the right solution for you, keep playing, or even contact their team, because it's really helpful when it comes to doing it. And we've used Taylor Brands in-house, not for particularly our business logo designs, but especially when it comes to course creation or books or something like that we've been looking at creating. It's a really handy tool. There's multiple times within your business that you're going to need to brand it, and it's a very handy tool to do that with. Okay, the other thing we need to do, we've decided who we're working with, we're looking at our logo, we need to go and own our real estate. And I don't mean buying houses. I mean going and owning our real estate. And that means registering our domains, making sure our email addresses are set up. And we most probably actually want to register those domains and do those checks actually before we go and register the business name and to get our logo and everything in place. But we want to make sure that we can register the domain, we can set up our email addresses, we can create a website. Now, whether you want to create a website on your own or hire someone to do that, you want to put a bit of an outline together about what you want in that website. You know, home, about. If our budget is limited, we definitely want a blog in there because we want to be able to share our expertise and drive traffic to the site by, creating some free resources and stuff that people will find us through. If you are in doubt or you find it too hard, there are many professionals out there that can help you design our website and get you started. I'm a big WordPress girl, and we work with the team at Elegant Themes, building a lot of our websites here in-house for clients and for ourselves. If you want to check out Elegant Themes and the Divi Builder, I've included a link for that one for you too, just to help you get out started. The next thing we need to do after we've got our website underway and we've got our domains and we know that we've got our brand presence there is we need to write a bit about our company, about what we do. So taking that stuff that we were looking about, who we want to work with, and explaining what we do and putting it into succinct words that start to create our company profile statement. So who is it that's behind the company? What do you offer? What experience do you bring? And really putting a really strong bio together and a company profile introduction, because that's going to form the about pages, and it's going to tap into things like we're going to cover next, which is your social media stuff, when you need to put in the about bits into those areas. So social media is a great form of marketing, and it's basically free. It's going to take a bit of time to be able to do it, but it's definitely a low-cost form of marketing for you to be able to do. And it allows you to tap into someone else's network, so Facebook's network, for example, YouTube's network, for example, Twitter's network, and start to develop some trust and find some people who like what you do. So social media is another big one. Now, I don't suggest it as a new business owner you go and set up every profile and start using them all at once. I suggest you own your real estate. You get the usernames and handles for your Facebook, for your Twitter, for your Instagram, for your Pinterest, for your LinkedIn profiles, for your LinkedIn company pages, and you own all those real estates. And then at one program at a time, you start to learn them. And that's what I'm a big believer on when we're teaching the marketing circle is, learning one platform at a time. So learning your Facebook, learning your Twitter, learning your Pinterest, learning your Instagram, and really delving in and finding those courses and those people like myself that teach this stuff to teach you how to implement it and engage with it within your business. It's an effective form. You basically get to create your own little platform and magazine. And remember, when we're creating our social media stuff, we want to still drive people back to our websites and engage them and have them engage with our content along the way. So learn one platform at a time. And then once you get the messaging and the feel right, there's tools like Meet-Edgar, and I love Meet-Edgar, that will help you be able to delve into automating and automation, that sharing that content again and again. So if you know a particular tip works well, then you might create a couple of variations of it and delve into it. And we delve into Evergreen content a little bit further in this video to help you. The other thing that we need to do is use the power of email to market our brand. Now, there's a number of ways that you can do that. We send emails every day, so we want to make sure our email signature is set up. We want to be using our own domain. We want to make sure that our from name isn't misspelt and it represents us, because occasionally we can get in there, we chuck stuff in and we don't look at our from names and that sort of stuff. And we want to use our email signature on every signature to market what we do. So you want to have your phone number, your email, your contact details. And if you use a tool like Wisestamp, like we do, you can put your latest blog post or promotional stuff in there so that you don't forget to market it. It remembers to drag that stuff in. And I've also included a link to how we use Wisestamp and another video that you can have a look at to help you with this process. Now, the other thing when it comes to email marketing is making sure that when we're building our website, we've got opt-ins, and we may be doing nurture sequences and lead cycles and all of those sorts of things, which you'll delve into down the track. But for the main thing, use your sidebar, get a newsletter opt-in in place there, add those newsletter opt-ins to your Facebook page, to your Twitter areas if you can as well. And making sure that people can connect and they can opt in, because we own two things on the internet. As much as social media is an amazing platform to share, the two things we do actually own are our website and our email list. So we want to encourage people to come and sign up and come and join our email list and interact with us that way as well. Now, the other thing that we can do when we are starting out, we're on a limited budget, we're needing to create content because time's going to be limited as well, is creating evergreen content. And evergreen content is, think of the tree, it's content that's green all year round and can be used again and again. It's always fresh. It's the top tips and those sorts of things that you share. And I'm going to give you 7 ideas of evergreen content you can share in just a moment. So those evergreen angles that you're looking for are that content that you can then put into those automation tools like Reed-Enever. You can share again, you can reference in your blog post, and you can write good structural pieces that you can continue to send people back to help get them opting in and start to build your list that way. So evergreen content, some of the 7 ideas that I like, and they're within your business, and they're quite often easier to find than you think. They're your top 5 tips on the topics, on the areas of expertise that you're going to be. So go off now and just write down your top 5 things that you know well, and then write another top 5 tips around that, and there's 5 blog posts or 5 video pieces of content that you can share. Tips for beginners either using your service, starting out, looking for a service provider, they work really well. Explain your jargon and your industry terms, because if someone's confused about something, they're likely to type in the search, what does this mean? Okay, and if you've got those explanations on your website and they're well indexed and they're well spoken about, then chances are you're going to come up in search for that, and that's going to be great because that's starting to lead someone who's already got the pain point. They're confused, they want to understand something more. If you provide really good educational content, evergreen educational content alongside that, like your tips that we're talking about, then that will help lead those people to you. Infographics are another great one. You can create infographics with stats and figures and key checklists and even processes and workflows. They work really well. Checklists, downloadable checklists. So be able to trade a checklist, your knowledge and expertise, behind an email opt-in and have people check, come and get a checklist through those areas. And ideas and resources, so tools and tips. So like Taylor Brands is doing, having me guest post and share this video and article with you all, have a look at, being able to create a resource library. We've got it inside Business. We've got it on my website, the Reed-Enever.com.au website. There are lots of tools and resources along the way that help people navigate the world of business. And you can help people navigate the world of whatever your industry or your new business is about by providing them good resources, good things, and good maybe did you know moments and did you know pieces of content that they can tap into. And the other one when we're creating our evergreen content or we're looking at doing things is doing what I'm doing now. Guest posting, sharing and tapping into the power of other people's audiences to spread your message. Now, I was happy to be invited to do this piece to help you market your new business, but you can tap into the power of other people's audience. You could be a guest podcaster. You could, look at working with the media, and our Media Connections Hub has a whole heap of resources about how you can share your story with the media. If you want to head to that one, mediaconnections.com.au, that will help you get started in there. But look at being a guest author. So look at the publications that people read, ask them what they're reading, and see if you can look at doing a guest submission. There's one easy way to find guest submission spots, and that is to Google the publication and look for article submission or guest post in the words. So whatever the publication name is, article submission or guest post, quite often it'll lead you to a submission form or a submission process, and you'll be able to start to work on your articles and your guest content that way. And if by being a guest poster or a guest author, you're actually building your authority and expertise and having a bit of a transfer of trust from that publication to yourself. There is also podcasts. Go and type in podcasts within your industry and then look and see if they're looking for guests. So you see guest application, just add that to the Google search as well and have a look through their podcast website. Make sure that you are listening and you're reading to that content before you start submitting and pitching so that the content you put together is relevant for the publication. And planning and being consistent is my final tip when it comes to marketing your brand new business. We need to make sure that we're marketing on a daily basis and we're making marketing part of our day. And that's where I'm a big believer of tapping into the 5-minute marketing mindset and using opportunities to basically take a moment and do something within your marketing. So I'm going to finish off this session with a link through to the 5-minute marketing video series that I have on YouTube to help you start to tap in and make marketing part of your day. So planning might be the last thing you want to do because you really want to get into it, but we really do need to look at what our marketing goals are, look at how often are we going to blog, how often are we going to post on Twitter, how often are we going to post on Facebook or go live or create video content for our business. And as long as we start to get those plans into place, we can be accountable. And by creating a plan, we've actually a little bit more committed to the process. So rather than going, oh, I'll market when I can, you've got a process. And I'm a big believer, and I say to my marketing circle members all the time, time block some time in your week for marketing. Make sure that you've got a space within your diary, and I'm not talking 15 minutes, but maybe you've got 5 or 10 minutes a day that you're looking in on, checking in on things, and then 2 or 3 hours a week where you're dedicated to your marketing message, to making sales calls, to making sure that you've got a newsletter or an email going out, or you're creating new content or understanding one of those platforms. Congratulations on starting a new business. I'm excited for you. I'd love to know about your business. Either let me know in the comments, or come and say hello to me on any of the social platforms. You find me, Linda Reed-Enever, on all of the social platforms out there, and I look forward to hearing about your marketing journey and how you market your business.